everybody, Chris Stokes from Custom Fitness Personal Training Studio. Talking about chasing the dream of perfection today. Something that comes up often. We watch the infomercials and we see these dramatic before and after pictures. We hear people talking about, how they went and they did XYZ and put this much effort into it, and all of a sudden their body completely transformed and now they're a completely new person. They follow a new eating schedule, they exercise all the time, and they absolutely love it. Well, I'll tell you the truth. The truth is that not everybody loves it every day. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, but even trainers and fitness professionals, a lot of times we get burnout too, but we still have to keep going, and we keep going because we find that determination, motivation that drives us. We find out why we want to do it, and we keep doing it for that reason rather than just whatever the picture is going to look like. So where does this come in for you? Well, a lot of times people get on the scale, they start a new workout program, they stand on the scale, they don't see the scale change much or change the way that they want it to change, and so they do that for maybe a week or two, really driven in that beginning part, start seeing those non-results, and they stop because they're done. They aren't going to put forth the effort, waste the energy and the time if they're not going to see the results that they want. Well, that's all good and fine, except for the fact that we forget that our bodies are unique, and our bodies don't all respond to things in the same way, and that while there are general rules that all life pretty much follows, that doesn't mean that if you do specifically what your friend or neighbor or family member did, that you're going to have the same exact results, because your body may work differently. So sometimes I try and change the direction that people look and think about their results, and a lot of times we start to talk about the behaviors and the habits that go into it more than the actual results that come from it, because the behaviors, if we focus on those as our goal rather than the outcomes of our results, then we typically end up having the results that we want plus some. But if we only focus on the results, we either get frustrated in the beginning because we don't see where we want to be, we don't see how we're going to get there, or we get frustrated towards the end because we get burned out by doing the same thing over and over and over again. So either way, we need to have a little difference in direction. And this came across really clear one day as a client came in and started a workout program with us, and she spent about 3 weeks going through everything, and she was telling me how great she felt, and she wasn't having the pains that she did before, she was sleeping better, she had more energy, it was all wonderful until she stepped on that scale. And then she got on that scale and she saw that she hadn't lost the amount of weight that she thought she had. She thought she felt a difference in her pants, but she really didn't know, and the scale told her that she hadn't, and so it basically just screamed out, liar to her. And she came to me and said, you know what, this isn't working. Well, I'm not like your typical person that you're going to run into at a gym. I'm not your typical fitness professional. I'm not your typical trainer. I am a completely different individual who believes in the uniqueness of your body. And whenever we talk about the uniqueness of your body, we're going to sit down and figure out what exactly is going on. So where that woman wasn't seeing changes in the weight, we immediately got out our ultrasound that we do body composition with. And we got out our tape measure. And we started measuring and doing different things. Well, it turned out that in that 3 weeks, she had already lost 8 inches. In that 3 weeks, her body composition had already started to change, where she had gained a couple of pounds of muscle and already started to burn off some fat poundage. So the body was responding, just not in the way that she thought that it should. And as Americans, we typically look to that scale to be our only answer. That scale is really just a great big liar. It's really a choice that we make each day to step on that scale, and as we're making that choice, it's, am I going to have a great day, or am I going to step on here and find out how much frustrated tension I can carry throughout the day? And so really it becomes this choice that we make that we really need to stop making, and we need to pay attention to our surroundings. So maybe a better way to see your results would be through the way that your clothes fit, through the way that you look in the mirror, through the way that people are perceiving you. There's several different ways that we can find out how we're doing without that scale, and sometimes that's a better answer. Okay, so for today, we're talking about the dream of perfection. Now, whenever people are looking at perfection in the story that I just shared with you, it's really about the difference between accuracy and consistency. So accurate would mean that every day you are on track to do exactly what you thought, and everything is falling in the order that it's supposed to fall in, and every day you're losing X number of pounds, and every day you're following your plan and doing what you're supposed to. But the problem with accuracy is you have to go 100% all the time. You have to be perfect in that method in order to make those things happen. And we all know that if we are aiming for perfection, we're going to fail because we're going to hit burnout. It may be at 24 hours, it may be at a week, it may be at a month. Eventually you're going to hit burnout of 100%. We can only climb the mountain for so long before we have to come down the other side. So instead of looking for that 100% everyday effort to get exactly where you want to be and exactly the time that you think you should be at, let's instead look at the option of consistency. So is consistency as great as accuracy? In the short term, maybe not. In the short term, maybe consistency doesn't provide you with as fast a results as you'd like, or maybe it doesn't provide you with the exact metrics that you think you should have. But consistency over time is going to provide you with better results than you could have ever pictured for yourself in the beginning. And consistency over time is going to take you past that whole climb up the mountain, drop straight down. Instead, it's going to bring you up and carry you across and let you come down gently for a little bit and right back up. Because our bodies were not made to change in a straight line from point A to point B, but rather in a wave. We ebb and flow. Sometimes we lose a lot in fat. Sometimes we gain more in muscles. Sometimes our metabolism is doing great things. Sometimes we've got some inflammation to deal with. And it can come from all different factors. But there's things that we have to understand, that our body was not meant to go 100% every day, every moment. But instead it's meant to ebb and flow throughout the time that we're here on this earth. And so as we're ebbing and flowing, we've got to realize that consistency is more important than accuracy due to the fact that we can't get that 100%. So when we're talking about that, what kind of tips can I give you? Well, number one, make small changes rather than huge ones. So if you're going to start, I'm not going to tell you not to dive all in. If you decide, you know what, this is the time, I'm going to do this, dive in and take hold of it. But make sure that the changes are small enough that you can consistently do them. If you say, I'm going to go in, I'm going to clean out my kitchen, I'm going to change every recipe I do, I'm going to start exercising 7 days a week when I've never exercised before, it's going to be too much. But if you start out maybe 2 to 3 days a week exercising with some support and accountability and changing up a little bit of your nutrition plan here and then next week a little bit more, those small changes are going to carry you a lot further and you're going to be able to be more consistent and get better results longer term. Number two would be to keep moving forward even when you don't feel like you're making changes. So even if you start that program and you just don't feel like it's getting you where you want it to be, remember that we are not immediate creatures. Our bodies do not change spontaneously. They change slowly over time. We live in an instantaneous society where we start to expect everything to happen instantaneously. And goodness knows we have enough supplements, pills, and wraps galore that can cause instantaneous changes. But do those changes last? Not usually. So you're instead looking for the slower changes that last over time, that build new habits so that you can be healthy from now until the day you die, instead of just over the next 6 weeks, which is a really huge thing, at least in my book. Wellness is huge, and a lot of people look at it as more of a waste of time because they haven't seen the instantaneous results that they want here. But as they experience that wellness and that slower change, they start to see the benefit to it. And then they start to realize that, especially as we hit, say, holidays, like the ones that are coming up, and they're able to maintain their results and still improve through the holidays just due to the habits that they've built. And now they're running on autopilot and it's subconscious decisions. It's things that people don't even realize that they're doing anymore, but they're actually making those choices and leading a healthier lifestyle, even though sometimes they feel like they're completely off track. So that's number 1 and 2, small changes, keep moving forward. Even if you're not making progress in your mind, your body is still changing. Your habits are still changing. Number 3 would be a clean slate. Every day is a clean slate. I love the Matthew West song that today is the first day of the rest of your life, because it's absolutely true. Even if you screwed up yesterday, even if you screwed up last week, even if you haven't done what you were supposed to do for the last 6 months, today is the first day of the rest of your life. Today is the day that you can start. And all it takes is a mindset of determination to say, you know what, I'm going to do that this time. I'm going to get the help I need. I'm going to have the plan that I need, and we're going to make this work. And maybe it works for you. Maybe you got the right plan. Maybe you didn't, and you fall off the wagon again. The great news is that wagon moves super slow, so you can just hop right back on anytime. Just make sure that you do, that you don't stay off very long. So that's kind of my spiel on consistency. We want to make sure that we are being consistent in our efforts, especially over the holidays. A lot of people put too much emphasis on making these huge changes over the holidays, and we're coming into a high stress time of year. And we want to make sure that we're not putting too much extra stress on ourselves to make these changes whenever all it takes is 1 or 2 habits each week to work on. So if you'd like more help in knowing how to give yourself a break and find the right path for you, to find the changes that you want, most of our clients start seeing changes within the first 2 to 3 weeks because they've got a plan that's customized to them. If that's something that's of interest to you, I would love to talk with you more about that. Feel free to give us a call, 806-322-3188. And just so that you know, because I did kind of pre-announce this yesterday, if you or anyone you know has been on the fence about joining with us, it seems like a good idea, but you're not quite sure yet, I actually have what we're calling the Jump the Gun promo, where you're jumping the gun for January because everybody else is going to wait till January to start. And it's next to impossible to get session times, and it's, trying to find parking and trying to get into the gyms and all those things. So be the person who jumps the gun. And if you are, you're going to get a free consultation from us. You're going to get half off your first month. And you're going to get our exclusive 21-day guarantee, where you can try us out in full for 21 days. And if we're not the right fit for you, we give you your money back. My biggest goal in having this studio is to make sure that the people who are coming here are the ones who want and need to be here. And if it's not the right fit for you, then that's why we offer that guarantee, so that you can go elsewhere and find the right program for you. But if it is of interest to you to get started, that deal, that Jump the Gun special for half off your first month, is only good through November 30th. So we've got to hear from you before then. But I would love to be able to sit down with you and talk through a consultation and see if maybe this time we can create a custom plan just for you that's going to work. So I hope you got something great out of today, and I'll talk with you soon.